Volume now. Volume now. You should have volume now. So, okay, so we're going to go back over to the comments, and everybody can just give us a quick thumbs up that they've got video and audio right now. Hi, Yvonne. We love you too. Lisa Cry Freedom. We love you too. Coach Kathy. We love you too. Regina, Heidi, Healing Touch. William Reynolds, Fairman in America. Christopher Finch, Christopher, Nikki, Sue, Spartan, Nick Novelino. It's a great name. Debbie.
Darlene.
Debbie hears us. Tyler, hi Ty. How you doing, buddy? Peace to you as well. And William says, good on both. Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, so Eden Darling, something my mom used to say all the time. Darling, Eden Darling. So yeah, it's wonderful to see everybody in the chat room. It's going to be a very, very special show. And I was doing a little perfunctory checking around just to see if anybody has ever, there's another podcast like this, and there isn't. And so what I wanted to start the show today was with another question as to why is it that in the spiritual community, everything is so complicated. And when it comes to astrology, when it's not being flat out suppressed and hidden by astronomy, which is nothing, just putting names and numbers to fake places. But why is it when it comes to astrology, it's always left to become very, very difficult? And the fact of the matter is, with astrology, you can go on and on and on and on and on, because there are so many varying degrees to every single snapshot, which is you. You're a snapshot in a very unique moment, which makes up the uniqueness of you. So, you know, again, the difference between us is so very small. The distance between us is a mystery to us all. So we are so much alike, and yet we're so vastly, vastly different. And that's because of this astrological snapshot in the moment, and then everything's at play. We're going to get into what all those everythings are in the show tonight, and why it's so important. And then once again, to simplify it for you, so that at the end of the show tonight, all of you are going to be able to walk away with this with a very strong understanding of, from a practical standpoint, of what astrology is and how it needs to work in your life every single moment of every single day. So I thought about different names. Sorry about that. So I thought about various different names for the show, and because of my football background, I played football all the way up into university. I thought about, the quarterback in football, down and distance. And because as a quarterback in football, you always have to be aware of everything in every single moment. And that's how we have to be in this journey, in this ride. It isn't for some stupid game. This is for your life of lives. And that's why we go round and round and round and round and round and round the wheel till we get to a point that we take this seriously. And we do become the quarterback in football, or the pitcher in baseball, or the captain of the sailing vessel. And at some point, you have to take charge, and you have to be in control of your ride. And you do that by becoming aware. And once you possess awareness, then you will awake. And there are so many that call themselves truthers, and therefore, since you're a truther, you're awake. And you're not. You're not. Because what percentage of so many of these truthers are partaking in meat, dairy, and eggs? And forget about all of the horrific aspect of those so-called foods. They're just poisons to us because we're frugivores. Forget about that aspect of it at all. An awake person would never, ever, ever go anywhere near the meat, dairy, and egg industries because they are created on purpose a specific way. And that way is rape, is torture, is maiming, is murder, is mutilation. And we can't have anything, nor should any one of us have anything. So even a meat, dairy, and egg.
It's literally the satanic root.
It is. This is them turning us into cannibals. And that's why we're finding all of the human meat, human DNA, stem cells, and things like McDonald's burgers. But it's far, far, far more. I did remember back on Facebook. Remember those? It's like, how long ago was that? I don't even know.
It's like a lifetime.
Coming like a year ago, I guess now that I was booted off of Facebook. But remember I did that post about ice cream and the various ice cream companies and what they were beginning to put and had been putting in ice cream for the last 20 years. That's why Joe Biden likes ice cream. That's why Nancy Pelosi. That's why Biden and Pelosi and
they make a big deal about it.
And Democrats, Satanists like this went out of their way when they were senators and congressmen or women, and they were procuring loans for companies to create ice cream companies. And so all of this is designed to turn us into carnival fools, carnal beasts, cannibalistic monsters, Cain versus Abel, Canaanites. And they're doing and have done an amazing job. When we are ready, willing, and able. Remember, we are the children that were born to rise. We are the children that were born to rise. We are the ones that have the light in our eyes. And when you partake in that industry, you close the blinds and you turn off the light. There's just no two ways around it. So
when you know better.
So when you know better, you do better. So
and it's a journey. It's a transition.
It is. And so when you're the captain of your own vessel and you create this consciousness or awareness because you're beginning to raise some frequencies within you. Remember, energy frequencies and vibrations, said Nikola Tesla. Everything is that. And I'm working on a podcast, 20, 30 minutes, no more, but it's just going to phenomenal about Nikola Tesla, and then ties Tesla back to the ancients. And it'll just show you all the ancient different cultures from all over the world, all the way back to Pythagoras and ancient Greece, and how Tesla just simply knew what they knew and applied what they knew and did the things that he did, and then it was all suppressed. Who's Nikola Tesla?
Who here is stuck on the thought that Charlie can do anything in 30 minutes?
Well, but it's a presentation. So that's it. I'll record it. It won't be live. So when you are the master of your own vessel, the first thing you do is you begin to generate this awareness, and it leads to becoming awake. But until such time that you right the ship fully, cast thy net to the right fully, then you're not awake. And that's why I feel very good about what Colleen and I stand for, what we've been able to do, to achieve, which is to create this beautiful community of people who are truly switched on, truly switched on. And even those that have come a certain distance of the way, and then their foundations have shaken them and it has frightened them, and they've taken a different route to the next phase of their journey, they'll be back. Everyone will be back simply because it's the truth, it's the light, it's the way. And that's why everything that this beautiful angel and myself have taught you simply does come from God. It comes from the wisdom of God that has been handed down on the shoulders of giants.
And that truth just vibrates inside of us cellularly, right? And it's going to explode and come out in this bright light. So that's what truth does.
Yeah, it totally does. Okay, so what is this? And here's the really key thing. This is the amazing thing about becoming the captain of your vessel, becoming the master, is this. The very first thing you do when you take charge of you is then you hand it over to somebody else. And that somebody else is God through Mother Earth, because together we get her. And that is through their child whom they exalt above all else. So you talk about the true parents of us all, and the greatest parents that ever existed, God and Mother Earth, is that they're always exalting this incredible child, Jesus Christ. And now, why would I use the term Jesus Christ or Christ Jesus instead of Zarathustra or Krishna or Buddha or some other name that came from a different culture? Because the night sky, because the night sky specifically teaches, this is what astrology is. Don't let anyone else attempt to sway you or confuse you. Astrology is Christianity. And the first person that we know of in terms of any sort of books or physical writings about this, about decoding the night sky, was this guy from Persia. And so out of Persia came this first decoding of the night sky. And what is that? That's the one story. So this is everything that Colleen and I teach. So therefore, we're masters of astrology because we're teaching the one story. And by the way, that's Santos Bonacci and syncretism. Syncretism is just this mastering and application of this one story. There's only one story, and that story is written in the night sky. Now, why would we look to the white sky or the night sky, which I love that white sky, because of photon light? And Colleen's just interrupting the show with her phone, and that's just fantastic. Thank you.
Sorry.
Colleen doesn't know how to operate her phone, which is good, because I don't even have a phone, and we're novices at this technology crap. So, but why would we take our authority from the night sky? Because God created it. And anyone who attempts to rail against that, anyone who attempts to defame the fact that come on, are you literally suggesting that Satan down in hell has the ability to rise? No, has the ability to rise into the heavens and then right in the face of God be able to just paint the night sky with all these satanic symbols? That's insanity. Come on, that's insanity. The Bible, Genesis, which Justin and I and hopefully Colleen will be joining us with that. We'll be decoding Genesis and then the whole rest of that wonderful book soon enough. But in the Bible, in Genesis, right at the beginning, first few passages, that God created, the oceans above the firmament, separation, oceans above heaven and earth, and the separation between them, the oceans above and below with the firmament. So this is, and then of course, right in the beginning of Genesis 1:7, 1:9, let the stars be for symbols. So of course they are. Everything is a calm. Everything is a calm with the Q team. Everything is a calm with President Trump. And that's because the Bible is a calm. It is because God's creation is in everything. God's creation is everything. So therefore, symbology, numerology, it's built into everything. That's,
all the Gnostic songs, all the Gnostic movies, all the Gnostic books, all of them have this incredible layer of truth built into it.
So you cannot fight this. To fight this, this is just ridiculous. You're just being silly. And eventually you'll come around to the understanding that we possess, which is, of course, the night sky is a chalkboard. The night sky is the first teaching. It is, and ultimately is the only teaching. And that's why at some point you will come to the night sky and look at everybody. Look at all these incredible people. And of course, the Z-Man that I was talking about from Persia earlier, the first that we know of to write it down, Zoroaster from Persia, is, so this is essentially the basis to everything, all of our teachings. And it is the basis of one story. And of course, God created it. And the Bible tells you that God created it. And the Bible tells you that let the stars be for signs, and that everything is a message and everything to come. Jesus never spoke but in parables. And Jesus was always relating his stories in an astrological fashion. And of course, Jesus 13 is the one who was surrounded by the 12. Did Colleen just change into it? I mean, you're beautiful, Call. I love you. But oh, no, wait a minute. It is one of our dogs. Sorry about that. Colleen's back. So, so you cannot rail against this. The night sky is the one story. It is our textbook, open to page 1. And of course, that's why the Bible is this incredible book. And so why do I use that name, Christ Jesus or Jesus Christ? Because the Bible tells us to. The Bible tells us that this is all about the Christed journey. And what the night sky tells us is that we obviously are all the children of God, and therefore Jesus Christ came first to show us the way. So in terms of our understanding of a religious background or a historical understanding of religion over the last 6,000 or 7,000 years, we have Zoroaster in Persia, which of course today is Iran, moving across through Babylon, which of course today is Iraq, and then into ancient Egypt and the Holy Land and the Mediterranean and Greece and all the rest of it. And we begin to see these other figures that came into play. So with Zoroaster, after Zoroaster came Krishna. So the purest form of Christianity and the teaching of Jesus Christ actually comes from Zoroaster and Zoroastrianism. So it is just pure, because it was just purely, without any middleman in the way, was purely decoding the truth of the night sky, which is everything. It's the one story. And then you go to Krishna. And what does Krishna mean? Christ. And then have you ever read the story in the various books, and in particular the Bhagavad Gita of the Hindu faith and the story of Krishna? It is virtually identical to Jesus Christ. And that's because, as I did in my live show about 2 months ago on Jesus Christ, the ancient truth of Jesus Christ is that the Bible and these ancient manuscripts, texts, are telling us that in the beginning, this was the creation, and that this is what we are supposed to become. And this is the journey that we have to go on, man or woman. This is what we all have to do. And that's why we go around and around and around until we find the courage to be able to be Christ-like. Everything in this entire ride will change, and change for the better, the moment that we embrace the teachings of Jesus Christ. And if you want to see Jesus Christ as Jehoshua and Mary Magdalene 2,000 years ago in the Holy Land, and all of the horrific things that were done to someone by these fake Jews, these Zionists who bankrolled everything into the lie, the big lie against the big truth, then that's totally fine. Colleen and I are the biggest proponents ever of Jehoshua and Mary Magdalene, and he is Jesus Christ, because that story, that variation of that story, is speaking to the miracles of his courage and their courage and their strength together to show the way, to be the light and to be the truth, and to provide life by being the way. And the only way to God is through Jesus Christ. And how do you know that's true? Because not only the Bible, but the night sky shows you. It's not just that it tells you, it shows you. That's the brilliance of the night sky. It's a verb. It's action. It moves. It constantly is in motion, and it constantly plays itself out again. It plays itself out again every single solar day, or day and night. It plays itself out every single solar year. It plays itself out again every single great year, as we do through the precession of the equinoxes. And that is the 2,333 years that are necessary for us, for the sun to go through the center of each of these 12 constellations. And that creates the 26,000 great year. And so each of those is a house, and each house is 2,333 years, which, by the way, adds up to 11, which is here, which is between your two temples. 9/11, 9 is God consciousness here, and 11 is your temples, and that is the church. That is the only church. I'm not gonna, never will I back from that. That is the one church. And you don't go to church out there, you go to church in here in silence. Matthew 6:6 tells you everything you need to know about what prayer is. Prayer is meditation, stillness and silence, because that's what God is. Dielectricity, which die is perfect balance. It is the completion of everything into perfect balance, so that there is no motion again. And that's why all of us have to do the work on God's behalf, because God is oneness, is absolute oneness. And then we have to come into alignment with that oneness right here.
It's also simple when you start thinking about it. Everything about God is just simplified, and it's simple. And the way that the cabal gets to us is through the beta waves and making everything complicated. And the left side of the brain always wants to complicate everything. But the truth is very simple. And sometimes we throw out that simple truth because it can't be right. It's too simple, right? The left brain's like, there's got to be something more complicated than that. This is far too simple. But it really is just silence. And you're like, well, that sounds really simple. But the challenge is getting from the beta wave to the
Epsilon.
yeah.
Hey, Charlie, are you even alive? I don't know sometimes.
I'm like, are you sleeping?
Are you sleeping? Are you awake? Are you with us? And it's like, do I have to be? Do I have to come back here? I guess I do. But honestly, there is so much better. So this is that one story, and the night sky teaches the one story, and the night sky teaches Jesus Christ. So Colleen and I love this gentleman by the name of Bill Donahue. Bill Donahue, back in the late 80s and early 90s, was out of a basement in New Jersey, and Bill has a bit of that, Joyzy accent. It's great. And geez, wow, he and his wife, wow. And I just love Bill Donahue. And Colleen will attest to it. I think I can speak for Colleen as well, but Colleen will attest to it for me. My favorite shows ever would be just watching a 45-minute segment, 50-minute segment of Bill Donahue, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, because this is true. This is true. Until he starts talking about NASA and outer space, and I'm not sure why Bill did that, but because he knew better, because he knows the Bible inside and out. But other than that, Bill was just pretty much bang on everything. And of course, doing it way back when, and just his style. He's the best teacher. He's just the best teacher ever. He knows so much. And
I'm a comedian without trying.
A comedian without trying. He's so much personality and passion. Wow. And he knows this one story inside and out. So
check out his videos.
For sure. Bill Donahue, can't miss him. He has glasses. Usually wears his short sleeve white or blue shirt. Incredible. It came down off of when YouTube took our channel down, but I'll put more and more of his videos back up on our Shire Animal Rescue Sanctuary, this YouTube channel as well, because Bill is the real deal.
Hypnosis, they've watched all of Bill Donahue. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, my beautiful friend. And over 600 since 2012. And Bill is just amazing. And so we were watching one of Bill's classic episodes, The Best of Bill. And it was he was just going on this tirade about Jesus Christ and the Bible. And then, of course, all of you know how passionate I am about Jesus Christ and how passionate I am about the Bible. And the reason is because Jesus Christ is the truth. And that's why no man can find or go to the Father without first going through Jesus Christ. And that's because Jesus Christ, which is the way, which is the light, which is life, because Jesus Christ is truth.
But there's no way to God without being the Christed, right?
And the Christed one, is the truth. And we're going to get in. This is so amazing about this show tonight, how we're going to get into this in this 30 degrees of separation between the constellations. 12 times 30 is 360 degrees, wearing the crown. And you start to tell lies and you're off alignment, and then you're right out of that house. You're right out of Aries, and you're no longer the lamb arising, and you're falling. If you're falling, you're headed the wrong direction. You're heading right back to Scorpio or to the Capricorn, and you're going to stay there until you do it right, until you learn to go within. So it's really incredible. But I just wanted to bring that point up, and about seeing that in the video with Bill, and I'm just talking so passionately about Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ is the truth. And everything that Jesus Christ taught us, all of us, is the truth. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to go to a church. You don't have to put money into a little packet. You don't have to wear certain clothes. You don't have to do any of those things. You just have to read the King James Bible, if you're English, King James Bible, for yourself, preferably the 1611 edition, but pretty much any early version of the King James Bible is telling you pretty much the entire truth about what Jesus Christ said, because everything that Jesus Christ said is the truth. That's why we revere Jesus Christ as much or more than anything ever, because he told the truth, and that's all that matters, is the truth. And that's all we do, to the best of our abilities, to what we know is the truth, to the best of our abilities. That's all we've ever done. That's all we'll ever do. We want to be Christ-like. We want to honor Jehoshua. We want to honor Mary Magdalene. We want to honor all those like Krishna and Buddha that did the work, Zarathustra, who did the work and came before us. We're working. We are on the shoulders of giants. Literally. Have you seen the pictures Ghost Ezra's putting out lately about these gigantic people? Yeah. Stop poisoning yourself and watch how big you'll get. Okay. Yeah. We're magic. We're magic and we're miracles. Don't buy it. And stuff like that. Yeah. Just give them a jab right in their temples. Go away, Canaanites. Ugh. So Jesus Christ is the truth. So Bill Donahue, this is amazing. So this is what Bill said. Bill said, I can teach you all day and night about Krishna. I can teach you all day and night about Shakyamuni Buddha. I can teach you all day and night about Zarathustra or about Carl Jung. But all we have to do is embrace the teachings of Jesus Christ, because that man told the truth. And he said, if we want things to get better now, and for everyone, especially for those who are the most disenfranchised now, we had better start listening to Jesus Christ. Thank you, Bill Donahue, because that is the greatest thing I've ever heard being said. And it is the absolute truth, because Jesus Christ only spoke the truth. We had better start embracing the words, the teaching of Jesus Christ, because it is the truth and it is the way. And I loved how he said, because Bill has massive, just like we do, have massive love and appreciation for Krishna, for Buddha, for Zarathustra, for Zoroaster, for all those who came before. But when you look at Jesus, he's like, boom. He's like that silver cord at light, all the way to God, ringing the golden bell in every single moment. He was the truth, and every single moment is Jesus Christ. And if all we did is just follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, then we are going to be awakened. We're going to awake. We're going to become awake, and we are going to become the creme de la creme. The cream always rises to the top. We are the chosen children of God. We are the children of Abel, and we were born to rise. We have a great song for you. We'll talk about this more in another podcast, but it's a Kevin Costner movie I never even knew existed, which is Canaanites, CNN. Who said that? In the presence. Beautiful. That's right. Canaanites, CNN. Absolutely. Ooh, flyers. So this Kevin Costner, I didn't even know existed till a little while ago. It's from 2014. It's a football movie. I should have known about that. And it's called Draft Day. And Kevin Costner plays Sonny Weaver, who's the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. And he's got lots of problems in his life, but on draft day, how he makes everything work for him is that he tells the truth. On draft day, with enormous pressures going against him, he stands up for what is right. He stands up for love. He has integrity. He has honor. he does what's right. And on a day where we're pressured into doing what the masses want, what we're told is the thing we should, you got to draft this person, you got to draft that person. But what did he find with the person that everybody was saying should be the number one pick in the draft? Canaanite, liar,
Lacked integrity.
Egomaniac. And he stood for this one kid that was just Christ-like, pure and through was this young man. And he did the right thing, and everybody screamed and yelled and hated within his own team. And then when he made that right decision, the whole rest of the day came around in the most series of miracles. And it is beautiful. And at the end of the movie, there's this great song, Born to Rise, which we're going to play at the end of the podcast tonight. I got the video with lyrics all set up for it. And has nothing to do with football. Of course, it has everything to do with football if that's where your headspace is at. But it's a song for the children of Abel. It is. It's a song about us, and we're gonna close the podcast tonight with that. So, thank you, Bill Donahue. We love you, Jesus Christ. And this is the story. This is the one story. It is the book that I'm currently working on, and it is going fabulously. It is going to be such a, I'll buy it and read it, because I'm enjoying so much writing it. It really is incredible. This book, The Hieroglyphics of the English Language, because it's the one story, and it decodes, and it's everything. Oh my God, it's such an honor to be able to have a lick of intelligence, to be able to be the person that's doing this. It's incredible. So, and then of course
we're turning you all into decoding sleuths once we unveil it, and then you can take that and you can just, every word that comes to you, suddenly you're going to be looking at it differently, and it's going to be like, wow.
Because that's right, because you now possess the code. That's what Colleen's saying, is that with the book, we're making you code breakers, because we're giving you the cipher. And that's what the Cabal have done. They have kept the cipher from you, and then they've quietly changed the definition to virtually every single word in the English language. It's all upside down.
So all the wonderful spells that we would be sharing, they're all either inverted or just powerless.
Yeah, so that's right.
Good and powerful for the not so good.
Yeah, brilliant. That's exactly so. So they're once again turning us into Satanists instead of the children of God, which is what we are. So it's really exciting. And then the book series, the trilogy that will follow, again, is just about Jesus Christ Jesus, and it's about these three journeys that we have to make. The journey we're going to talk about tonight, the 12, the one with the 12, 13, and then the 24 and the 42, which is, what we went through in the book of Revelation and the book of Matthew, taught you the journeys of 12, 24, and 42. So let's start with a little diagram that I created. Where's Capricorn? There it is. And so this is, it's okay for right now, but so this is the sky clock. It is. This is how you tell the only time that matters, because this linear time bullshit with seconds and minutes and stuff, that doesn't exist. It's a construct that these fallen mankind, human beings, agreed to play thousands of years ago, and we still continue to play this stupid game. It doesn't exist. But there is a clock, and it's the sky clock, and it gives you basic things so that we can have this sensation of the passage of time, for a lack of better term, but it's really just events. And so this is the clock that you're looking at, and like any clock, it always shows you 12 at the top. So do you see how at the 12 o'clock position, it's Cancer? And Colleen and I are Cancer, so we're totally biased. No, the reason that at the 12, the top of the hour, top of the morning to you, and at the top of the hour is we Cancer, because Cancer is what we have to get to. That's what God is, dialectricity, the ultimate perfect balance between all things. Cancer 6, 9 is the balance between the masculine and the feminine energies into one. And that's why the symbology of Cancer can be shown And, when you do it this way, it kind of looks like the 6 and the 9, but you see they're unified together. They're together as one. That's the entire point. So that's what this entire journey is. Okay, now, how do I know? Well, because I said that's what Cancer is. It's the culmination of these events, the 12, and that is to get to the ending, which is stillness, silence, perfect balance, homeostasis. So where does it start? Of course, everything starts with the creator, which is Leo the lion, which is God. And that is one. One is Alpha. Alpha, one, God, Leo. 1 o'clock on the sky clock, and the 1 position is Leo. Okay, you with us? Makes perfect sense. That's how easy astrology is. Don't fall for all the complexity to it. And there is an enormous amount of complexity to it, but you can use the basis of all of this to help yourself, guide yourself, teach yourself, and point yourself in the right direction always in every single moment. That's what the show is tonight. And now we're in full speed now, is precisely how to master this sky clock and then apply it in your life in every single moment. See, it's all for free. It's all for free, and it's all simplified because that's God's creation. That's the way it should be. What's in the 2 o'clock position? First came the Father, then came the Mother, which is the virgin, pure Mother Mary, Mare, Mar, ocean, to below, to the ocean of ether, of God above, heaven and earth. This is the goddess of water, Ea, or the Mother Mare, the Virgin Mother Mary. 2 o'clock position. First comes Father, second comes Mother, third comes baby, because we know what Father and Mother are always up to. And that's magnetism, which is constantly moving against the Father, who is constantly stationary. So when God is stationary and doesn't move, and the Mother is constantly moving up and against because she's in love with the Father, they create friction. Look in any encyclopedia or technical manual about what electricity is, they'll all tell you the same thing. Electricity is friction. God's a genius. God's an absolutely genius. And that is us, the child. And we are indeed electrical. We have to get back to being magnetic like the Mother. So to get him, you first have to get her. She's magnetic. We are electrical. Good news for us is that she's been trapped down in the root base of us. And that is, played out on the level earth as well. That every time we fall, because we have no truth in us, it's all been erased, it's all been washed away. So every time we fall, because we're doing everything incorrectly, we fall to her. And then she heals us. Why did we fall? Bruce, why did we fall? Get back up, to learn to get back up. And the Mother helps us back up all the time because she's constantly rising, wants to rise because she's magnetism. And you see, we are born free. Come on, you know that. You know that no one can claim ownership of a precious creation of God. No one, not even your birthing parents of the Maritime Admiralty law system. You're free, born free. That's why Libra is in the 3 o'clock position, because it is 1, 2, 3, easy as ABC. I'm talking about do, re, mi, baby, you and me. Father, mother, child. Child is Libra, and we're born free. Now, what's the first thing we can really draw attention to that we can take notice of? And that is that Libra is on the level. See that? Even Steven. And there is Aries, and there is Libra. And this is very important because these two are on the level, which is so important. What does level mean? I've taught you this for years now. The etymology of the word level is truth. Level means truth. Are you on the level? Absolutely on the level, always on the level. Level is truth. And so the truth of us, who we are and what we must become, is born free and constantly arising. See, Aries, just play around with the letters. Aries is arise, and we must arise. A is God. We must rise to God, arise, and we are born free. So this is the truth. This is that's what God is saying in the night sky, and that's what the zodiac, or the precession of the equinoxes through the constellations, is telling us, is that we are born free and we must rise. Okay. And that's on the level, which means that we're supposed to be the truth, and we are the light of this world. When you tell the truth, you are the light of this world. And that's the 3 o'clock position. 1, 2, 3. Okay. After we are born, and of course, in this sick, evil, twisted system of the cabal, this is the maritime admiralty law system, we are then fed to those creatures who come from up out of the ground. Doesn't that make perfect sense in the 4 o'clock position, preying upon the fourfold nature of man, preying upon the cross of our fourfold nature, would be these beings that don't seem to have much of a purpose at all, except to come up from behind us and attack us. Yep. And the first thing we encounter after we are born or birthed into their system is that we're attacked. And how do the scorpions attack us? Through lies. They are the opposite of God. So they don't tell the truth. They're trying to turn us from Jesus and Mary Magdalene into the fallen forms of man. And so we become Satan and his eternal partner, which is the inversion of himself. So it is unfair, but it is the way. So as soon as we're born, we're attacked. And that's why Colleen and I we don't have any interest in judging you or hating you or permanently judging or hating anybody, because we know better. And we know that just like you have been attacked with lies since the moment you're born. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Why we're not supposed to judge others.
Right. Because the table is tilted. The game is rigged. You're not playing with a loaded deck. You're
and we
not.
Don't have all the information on anyone else either. So
no,
not for us to judge.
No. So what's the first thing that God gives us after Scorpio at the 4 o'clock position, so that we have hope, which is just key. Hope. How many people over the last few years have attacked Colleen and I, and have actually attributed a word to Colleen and I called hopium, and that we are the master distributors of hopium? Guilty. Guilty is charged. Mea culpa. Absolutely. Hope is so beautiful. Hope is life. Hope is
living without it
is the way. And it may be down low on the path, but you can't get there without starting here. And where you start has to be through a position of hope. And so we've always attempted to do that as much as possible. And talking about the Q team and specific figures and specific dates, we've always been willing to put our name and reputation on the line, because it is so important. It is godly to give hope, and it is satanic not to give hope. And all these people out there, these truthers, serious truthers, I mean, these people are serious about truth. They don't teach it, but clearly they're very angry people, so they must be serious about truth. They don't teach it, but they're very angry, so they're serious about truth. And they're very, 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 very serious about truth. And they're all despairs. and they just get into massive depressions. And then they're constantly behind the scenes calling Colleen and I up and going, have you got any hope that you can I've run out? Can you give us any, can you give me a fix of that hopium stuff? I need some hopium in my life. Tell me the Q team is real. Tell me it's real. And then they're doing podcasts that are saying it's not real. But then behind the scenes, they're coming to us and it's real, right? Please tell me again. Oh my God. So you have to exist through hope. Hope is God. Hope is the way. It may be low upon the journey, but you can't get there without starting here to there. And it all starts through hope.
Back.
There and back again. So Just want to make that clear. What's the first thing that is hopeful that God gives us at the 5 o'clock position, which is killing the lies, and that is the keen bow of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the is the is the bowman, Bard the bowman, and his keen bow, his arrows, the black arrow, his arrows are truth, and that's how you kill lies, char, lie, freak. You're a freak because you tell the truth. Clearly, that's true, because outside of Colleen and I, and I mean, we're trying our best to promote others, but outside of Colleen and I, who's telling you the whole truth? Who's telling you even bits and pieces of the truth? So we have to be a couple of freaks to be able to burn the lies, because nobody really likes to do that. But the first gift that we're given is Sagittarius at the 5 o'clock position. 5 is crucifixion. Crucifixion of the left brain. Who rules the left brain? Your ego, and the ego is the liar. And so you have to kill. So this is crucifixion. This is this death that must occur, is the death of this thinking for yourself. So Jesus Christ taught, Bill Donahue said, if things want to change now and get for the, we have to start listening to every single thing that Jesus Christ taught. And there's nothing he taught more passionately or powerfully than take no thought for your life. It's what the whole Bible is about, is take no thought for your life. It is. Killing all of these firstborn are thoughts. The firstborn male of every house is a thought out of your left brain.
This is the house.
That's the house. Yeah. The house of the rising sun. And you got to let it out. If you don't let it out, then it sets, and then it has to do it again. And around, around, around you go. Remember what we taught you. The insanity of the wheel is only in your left brain. There is no such thing as the wheel, the samsara, in your right brain. There's no such thing as a samsara in your right brain. Magnetism is a field. It is. It just is. Everything is. When you cross the river as Jacob did, and you are gifted the promised land flowing with milk and honey, that's magnetism. And that is eternal life, because that's a scalar wave, the number 8. And it never stops. No beginning and no end. And that's what this is all about. It's always been about take no thought for your life. And so Sagittarius, isn't JFK Jr. a Sagittarius? I think he is. I do. I think he is. And he's 55. JFK Jr., the etymology or the gematria of the initials, J10, F6, K11, J10, R18. He's R, by the way. Q is the team, Q plus is Trump, R is JFK Jr. And all of those initials, JFK Jr., JR, add up to 55. That's why there's so much symbology by 45, who's Trump, Cyrus to Trump, 245s. Wow. And both of their favorite president ever was JFK, and he's 35. 35, 45, 55. You see, kind of, it flows. It really, really flows. It makes sense, doesn't it? And so at the 5 position is JFK Jr., who's a Sagittarius. And what is Sagittarius? He has the keen bow. What is the keen bow? Tells the truth. It kills lies, never misses, because it's the keen bow. Always, its aim is true. My aim is true, because I cast my arrows to the right with the bow that is keen, and that is Sagittarius. And so this is crucifixion. This is killing the ego of the left brain, and this is telling the truth. It's what this is all about. You're going to see this at the end of all of this today. It's just you achieve this by telling the truth. And that's at the 5 o'clock position. Okay, this is so key, because at the 6 o'clock position is the Capricorn. That's what Capricorn is. Break it into its etymological roots. Capricorn. What does Capri mean? Goat. Goats. We had an amazing goat named Pippin, and Pippi loved us so much Pippi loved us so much that when we went over to feed Pippi with Guinevere and Strider in their yard, Pippi would literally put her two front hoofs on our shoulders and then just bring her head to us, and then we would just hug her. She loved us so much, and we loved her so much. Wow. Unfortunately, Pippi is no longer with us. Yuck, 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 yuck. But she's always with us because she's pure love. And so nothing against goats. This is an allegory. And sheep are pure and demure because they stay always within the two temples. They always stay peaceful and
Right,
righteous.
but put a goat in your garden, and they will eat everything.
They will eat everything.
Capricious.
And that's right. And the capricious goat will eat everything. And so they'll eat 2 weeks of food and have a tummy ache. And then for the next 2 weeks, you have nothing left to eat. And that's the allegory of the goat. And that is Capri. So Capricorn is goat corn. And what we need is Iowa corn. Am I in heaven? You're in Iowa. Which is heaven, because Iowa corn, the golden corn, is the pineal gland, and that is the God's gland, and that is the portal to God. That is heaven. That's what that beautiful movie Field of Dreams was all about. Just brilliant, Kevin Costner. And so at the 6 o'clock position, this is the journey of man, number 6. That's why 6 isn't a bad number. That's why 666 isn't a bad number, and that's why 666 isn't a bad number. But they've made it a bad number because they've inverted the purpose of 666, and they've made their journey completely evil, and they celebrate the number that is 666. And the Bible, which is ancient, has always written about this, and their number upon their brow is 600, 66, 666.
And interesting how Tesla says that if you understand 3, 6, and 9, you understand the universe.
That's right.
The goings on, but they just want you to stay down here, 666.
Yeah, and remember, 3, 6, and 9 is just played out in Leo, Virgo, and Libra. That's the secret. That's the secret. 1, 2, 3 is 3, 6, and 9. Guaranteed. 3, 6, and 9. And 6 is our number because it is the journey of man. And why is it 6? Because there are 6 in-body chakras, and the whole purpose of this journey is to illuminate this chakra, which is your third eye chakra. Ajna, Steely Dan's 6th album, Asia, the 6th chakra, Ajna. What are we looking at here? You want me to look at? Okay. So that is the Capricorn. Now, so in December at the winter solstice, you have a choice to make. And again, all of the positions are crucial, but when you look at the cross, so Cancer to Capricorn is on the vertical, okay? And you can't drift on the runway. You have to stay in the center of the runway if you wish to land your plane. Absolutely, you can't drift. When we lie, we're drifting. We're drifting out of the straight and narrow path on this vertical axis. So this is crucial because this is one part of the cross. The other part of the cross is the level cross. So Libra, Aries. So then Cancer and Capricorn, these are the 4 most important things. They're all crucially important, but these are clearly the most important because they're the cross of the Christed one in the sky. And so we better pay extra special attention to this. So have you ever wondered why the lowest that you've ever felt in your life is at Christmas time, when things are not going well for you and you are not finding the birth of Christ, you are not finding the truth, you're not finding the spirit of Christ Mass within you, and you feel low? Because you are look at it. Look at this. This is the circle. We live on a circular plane, flat, level, a circular level plane, but it's level. And this is the bottom of the circle. So Capricorn is you choosing, are you the Lamb of God that for now is a sheep and will rise at the 9 o'clock hour, you'll rise again and again to become a lion. Are you that sheep to become the lamb rising to the lion, or are you a goat? And again, nothing against goats. It's just that, as Colleen gave you that perfect allegory about the goat that squanders its seed. So you really see this with your sacred sex as well. The Capricorn, the capricious one, is the one who's also does not have one special partner. It's just taking partner after partner after partner and is ejaculating out their essence and burning the temple of the sacred feminine in a capricious manner. So you don't want to be that. So every Christ Mass is the decision. Are you going to go within to the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights, 72, 72, 999 is 27, and the inverse of 27 is 72, dark to light, 72. Are you going to go in and become the sheep, becoming the ram or the lamb to become the lion, rise and rise again? Or are you the goat? And here's the problem. Once this clock, the sky clock continues, you're still the goat. And so you're not going to get the truth in Aquarius because you didn't go there. You are here. You notice where this is? And if you wanted to create a serpent, if you wanted to create a serpent uncoiling 3.5 times, what would we then see? What we would then see is that you are in the root or Muladhara chakra. You are in hell on earth and you're not leaving. And that's why your Christmases are the worst time of the year. The worst time of the year. It can be the lowest that we ever feel can be at Christmas because you are the furthest away from the goal, which is Cancer, to get to him, to get to her, just to get together, to get her, and to be free. So it's all about 1, 2, 3, ABC. I'm talking about do, re, mi, baby, you and me. That's what I'm talking about is 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, and 9. But if you don't leave Capricorn, you don't get out of here. So when the sky clock continues to the water bearer, okay, what's he got in that pitcher of water? The mother Mary, and she's pure truth. She is the truth. And you didn't get it because you're still eating rotten corn in this house. You didn't leave to that house. You have to get to 7. This is the 7 o'clock position. And what does 7 represent in numerology in terms of God's numbers?
God intervention.
God intervention. It's the miracle. It's the miracle. The miracle is in the house of Aquarius because he is the one that is bearing, when it's actually her, Joanna, change to John, no big deal. Go with us. But it's John the Baptist with the pitcher of water, and the water is the mother who always tells the truth. And that's 7, which is God intervention, which is the miracle through truth, by telling the truth. See, you use your keen bow here at 5 to kill the ego, then you make the right choice, right, go to the right. What's the right word? Corn, not Capri, corn. Is this Iowa? I think this is heaven. And then you get the miracle in Aquarius, which is the mother who teaches the truth. That's all you have to do is observe the mother. This is what our schools are with the mother. And that's the truth. Aquarius. 7, the miracle, God intervention. That takes you to Pisces. Why? Why has every culture always embraced Pisces as wisdom? The two fish, God fed thousands of people with 5 loaves of bread. There was no bread. And 2 fish. How do you feed all those people with 2 fish? In fact, the 2 fish is wisdom. He filled them up with truth, with wisdom from God. And why is Pisces always associated with wisdom? Because it's right next to Aries. It's the closest thing to Aries is Pisces, because after Pisces is Aries, and Aries is everything. That is you, Christ-like, rising, creme de la creme, to the top to get him, her, and you. That's the only way you can find you. So that's why. And Pisces is at the 8 o'clock, and wisdom is eternal. Wisdom never goes anywhere. The truth is eternal because it's the truth. Creation is eternal because it's creation. What is creation? It's the truth. So Colleen and I have no angle. We never, ever, ever have any angle other than telling the truth. Why? Because all that there is God's creation. All that God's creation is the truth. You can't argue with that. So we have no agenda out of anything but the truth. And that is eternal at 8, Pisces, which leads us to Aries. Rearrange the letters, and Aries is arise. You must arise. Everything about our story is that word, rise. Rise and rise again, you lambs, until you become lions. When Bruce Wayne was cast by the bad guy, who was the bad guy in the third Batman movie? I should absolutely know this. I've only watched it about a million times. Bane, which makes perfect sense, right? Because Bane is his Bane. He's a Canaanite. Bane is a Canaanite, which is kryptonite. Kryptonite. Canaanite is kryptonite to Abel. And so he tries and tries in the pit of hell, and he can't get out. He keeps falling. And then the last time he falls, he has the vision of his father lowering down the well, pineal gland, third ventricle, the well. And he says, Bruce, why did we fall? Yeah, I get it, Dad. To try and try again, to get back up and try again, because God loves a trier. And then the blind doctor in his little compartment says to him, then make the jump the same way that the only one who ever got out of here, which is the child, the same way the child, without the rope. And then fear will surely find you again. Because if you miss, you're going to die. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be blah, blah. So fear will find you. And so why? Why is that necessary? Because you have to have hope. Because in that moment, you have to know that you're going to make that leap. And then just before Bruce Wayne makes that leap, what happens? A whole bunch of bats come out of a tiny little hole in the wall. And then he's like, he almost falls over because there's bats. And he's Batman. And it's a reminder, why did he choose the name Batman? Because bats scare me, Alfred. And it's time my enemies shared my dread. Yeah. And more than that, Bruce, it's time that you mastered your worst fear.
Which is what we all have to do.
That's right. It's exactly. That's why he has to become Batman. And then bats, sonar, magnetism, sonar.
And we all are at this point. We're at this pinnacle. We're on the edge, right? We're facing our fears. Good time.
And that's the leap of faith. This is the 9 o'clock position, and you have to make a leap. What do rams do on the mountainside? All they do, besides bashing their heads against one another, because that's the left. That's if they don't make this leap, that's the carnal left brain. They want the woman, and I got bigger horns than you. Look at the size of my horns. and I'm going to butt my head into yours. That's the left brain ego version of.
That's the saying, that's using your head.
Of the ram, right? And that is the ram that didn't make the leap. But that's what do rams do? So in The Hobbit, when Peter Jackson uses rams with the dwarves to get to the top of Ravenhill and take down the evil pale rider, the gray horse, the gray orc, and to take him down, they have rams because that is the leap of faith of God. And they went up there with no cause, no caution for their own safety. They went up there for one purpose and one person, cut the head off of the Hydra. It's crucifixion. It's so beautiful. Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh, they totally got it. And in many ways, they did a better job with The Hobbit than they did with Lord of the Rings, because I think that their knowledge of the
Their foundation by that point.
was so much more. I think they just knew so much more about the Bible and about decoding the Bible by that time. And in many ways, I mean, it is, and it's The Hobbit is absolutely a biblical masterpiece. It truly is the way Peter and Fran did it. It is completely godly. It's just gorgeous. It is, wow. So
we're praying their white hats.
we really are, and that's why the Lord of the Rings had to be made out of Hollywood, and that's why Harry Potter movies had to be made out of Hollywood, and they were. It's why the Matrix movies had to be made out of Hollywood, and they were. There's a reason. So this is the leap of faith at 9, which is Aries, which is Arise, and so Batman in the cave without the rope. And everybody is standing up and they're chanting. And he says to his friend, what are they chanting? Rise, 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 rise.
And that's what we're all chanting for each other. Yes.
Rise, rise, you child of Abel. We are born to rise. We are the chosen children of God because we love, because we honor truth and we honor love. Just embrace Jesus Christ. It's all we have to do. And it's not me telling you this. It's God telling you this. It's not me playing favorites with Christianity over Hinduism. Hinduism is Christianity. Zoroastrianism is Christianity. Buddhism is Christianity. It's only when these effing devils turned it into an organized religion that they polluted it and made it complicated. It's not. If you want to become a follower of Krishna, read the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. That's all you need to know about anything in life. It's pure truth. It's beautiful. It's the pure truth. You don't need anything else, but they give you everything else, and they're the cat victim. And you have to be okay being at the bottom and letting all the rich people, have everything in the world, because the meek shall inherit the earth. They don't even, it's true, but they don't teach you what the etymology of the word meek is. And the book that we're writing is going to give it to you. It's going to give you, so every single word, it's giving you the cipher to take back your truth, your power. It does. That book gives you the power to take back all truth, because that's all we have. That's what I wrote in the introduction to the book, is all we have in the English language are these 26 figures, and they've made up every single word. And those words are our history. See, that's right. So if you want to read history, real history, then you read words. There's now over 1 million words in the English language. That's history. Just stop. You can be amazed. That's a huge drop that I just gave you. You can roll your eyes for that's huge, because history is in our words. Every single one of our words teaches us of our true history. And when you do the etymology and know that you break down the cipher and you take the code, the cipher, and apply it to all these words, and you know what they really, really mean, you now know the entire history. You do. You know everything that happened before, because it's in all of the words. And most of the words in our language are beautiful, because most of our history is beautiful. It's only when these effing liars show up that things get ugly. And there are some ugly words, but they're not that many. Don't let them make you buy into this illusion that evil is what's always been and they've always been around. No. Karen Carpenter has always been around. The beauty, the essence, and the purity of someone like Karen Carpenter, who sang her heart out for God and for Jesus, right? What's the biggest Carpenter hit single ever? On the day that you were born, the angels got together. What's the name of that song? Decided to make a dream come true. So
beautiful song.
Come on, in the show notes, give us the name. I should know that 1 million times over. But what Karen Carpenter is singing about is Jesus Christ. Nobody else. Not an allegory. Not an allegory for anything else, Jesus Christ. Yeah. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and they decided to make a dream come true. It's all of our dream come true. So that's what's always been here, are the beautiful children of Abel. And these monsters have just hogged the last 110 years. And they've just taught nothing but lies from Einstein on. And who was there? Tesla. And yeah, close to you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. We love you. And Lisa, right after Diane, close to you, close to you. And because all we want to do is become close to Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. And that is the truth. All we want to is what Bill Donahue said on the TV today is embrace the teaching, and that's close to you. Jesus, we just want to be close to you. What did Jesus say in the Bible about our children? Stay close to me, but keep your children even closer. And now, unfortunately, we've learned the hard truth of not doing that, sending our kids to school.
We sent them to Satan's school.
Satan school. Oh my gosh. It's just, oh.
With all the loving intentions, we didn't know.
Exactly. No one is judging you because we did the same thing as well. Although we pleaded, we pleaded for them not to, but they still did. But it doesn't matter. Now that you know better, you're doing better. And that's all that matters. Okay. So this is 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock hour. This key hour is 9 o'clock because it's a rise and you must make the leap of faith. This is the leap of faith at 9. Aries is a ram, and rams make leaps on the sides of mountains. And if you make a mistake, you're going down. But guess what? You won't. You won't. No matter how great that distance is, you're going to make that jump. God's on your side, because the mother is on your side, because the rocks are on your side, because the wind is on your side, because the soil packed against the rocks on the side of the wall are on your side, and those little roots hanging out from the wall, they're on your side, and that little tree limb sticking out is on your side. Everyone is God's creation. They're all on your side. The only ones who are against you are the Canaanites, kryptonite, because they're the only thing that is foreign and evil to us.
Just because the left brain is imbalanced and
right.
it got lost and it's alone and it thinks that it's right, and it's not.
Yeah.
It needs the right brain to be balanced with it.
Yeah.
Put in its place, the 10%.
Yep. Yep.
And that's our job.
And when we have hope and we make the leap of faith, you become the bull. You become the bull. And we always tease our wonderful friend Eugene, because at 21 years of age, Eugene can't help himself but be very bull-like in many things that he does, because he's just so full of truth and passion and care. He trods right over people's feelings at times, because he's just interested in getting to the next phase, to the next part of the truth. And it's really a miracle, and it's beautiful. And that is the bull. And so the bull, the beautiful bull, you don't want to be the red bull that suppresses the unicorn in fear beneath the waves, right? No, you don't want to be the Red Bull, but that's what society gives you. Drink Red Bull. You had a Red Bull? I like Red Bull. Do you have a Red Bull? I have a Red Bull. Red Bull. You stay up all night. Red Bull. Can't. Yeah, that's right. Beta wave, and you can't meditate. Red Bull. No, you want to be the blue bull, the blue bull. And in so many ways, that's what Eugene is.
But what's a balanced bull? It's the bi bull.
And what is that's right. The balanced bull is the bi bull. And that is the unification between the left brain, Old Testament, wrath, fire and brimstone, and the New Testament, Jesus Christ. So the New Testament is just truth. It's just pure, plain truth. And the Old Testament is allegory after allegory after allegory to teach you how the ancients encoded all their information and to show you that the ego wants to rule and lead the way. Abel doesn't. The Tartarians weren't defeated in some great battle. They didn't create weapons. They weren't considering that anyone would want to take down perfection. So Bi-bull is balancing the two bulls, and Taurus is the strength that comes by learning the truth, by going within for 3 days, 3 nights, and eating only corn, which is the pineal gland. So corn is honey, the pineal gland, for 3 days and 3 nights, to then receive the truth from the mother, to then gain the wisdom through the father, baptism of water, baptism of fire, and then you will arise. Through hope, you will make the leap of faith and you will rise and you become the blue bull. And you are a bull and you are unstoppable. Nobody wants to get in front of a charging bull, but you're charging the right way. You're on the right path. You've got the right frequency. And that's what Taurus is. And what does Taurus lead to? It makes perfect sense. Gemini. Now, these new agers try, and they'll have like two women now as symbols of Gemini. Hey, that's kind of naughty. The origins of Gemini, the twins, is not two women, and it's not two twins. It's twin minds becoming one, and the etymology of Gemini and the origins of Gemini, do your own research. The etymology and origins of Gemini is father and mother. Is father and mother, is masculine and feminine, is milk and honey, Gem in I. Don't you get it? I can do this with all of these words. Every single one tells you the truth. Gem, the diamond, is a gem in the single eye. That's not 2 eyes. That's not 3 eyes. It doesn't say Geminis. It doesn't say Geminide. It says Gemini, a single eye, which is the 9th letter of the alphabet, which is God consciousness. Okay? When you get to Gemini, because you balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, you are the gem in the single eye. You get it? That's why it's called Gemini. It's not two chicks kind of digging each other, and that's kind of naughty. No, that's Satanism. Don't. Stay high, stay pure. And what hour is this? I'm just saying, what hour is this? 11th hour? And eyes kind of look like temples, don't they? And there's 2 temples. There's 2 eyes in Gemini. There's 2 temples to show you that it's the 11th. This is the 11th hour. And the 11th hour is when we come awake, when we fully come awake. And we achieve this at the 12th. Boom. The iron bell tolls 12. And it becomes brass. It becomes silver, and it becomes gold. Iron, brass, silver, gold. The 4 phases of the great year.
And so what does the cabal do with the word Cancer?
They make it the worst thing that it could possibly be, some kind of rampaging disease. Nope, no, it's not. No, it's not at all. No such thing as a cancer cell. There are your cells that are toxified and polluted, and they're going through toxic shock.
So we'll call it what it is, acidosis.
Acidosis. That's all it is. You're a frugivore. They've got you eating acidic foods. You're alkaline. Jesus Christ is the alkaline man. You have to become alkaline. Truth is alkalinity. Taking no thought, meditation is alkalinity. Yoga is alkalinity. Fluidity, that beautiful breathing deeply, diaphragmatic breathing as Buddha did, is alkaline. And eating fresh fruits off the tree where you have to rise to heaven for these godly fruits cost nothing, and they're there every single year. And every time you eat one and you poop it out, then your fertilizer fertilizes the seeds that you pooped out and makes more trees. And there's just food. And it's all free, and it's all abundant everywhere, and it's perfect.
Or you can plant them.
Or you could plant them. Well, you kind of are. And so it's just this miracle. Everything is a miracle. Everything is so simple and everything is so easy. And that's your sky clock. This is what's going within you. And guess what? This is the one story. You are that diamond in the middle. You are that diamond in the center. But you have to do the work. And this is the work. So once you're born at the 3 o'clock hour, you got work to do. 9 months. 9 months. The 9th letter of the alphabet is the single I. You have 9 months to get to. Gemini tells you it's the gem in I to the 12 o'clock hour. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 hours. 9 hours to get the single eye. And that's what Cancer is, this unification of two worlds. And you are the Bodhisattva because you didn't turn tail like Mr. Flint in Star Trek and leave. You stayed to help others. And how you help others is to illuminate the Christmas tree within you. Every day is Christmas. That's what we're going to be doing at our house. Colleen's excited. I'm excited. We're just two kids. Honestly, we are. It's ridiculous. We're just a couple of kids, and we don't ever want to change. And we're just going to turn every single day into Christmas here. And it's going to look like Christmas, the real Christmas. And every day is going to be Christ Mass here because every
Filled
day,
with
presents. Yeah,
not gifts, but the gift is being present.
that's right. The real present is presents under the tree. And so we're going to have a gorgeous pine tree that Colleen will just make. She's like such a gifted artist. Amazing. And that's what we're going to do.
Try.
Yep.
God loves a trier.
Yes. Well, honey, you are amazing. You're a gifted artist. You're gifted. Colleen's gifted at everything she does. And Colleen sometimes says that to me too. And the problem is with that is that when we want to be left brain carnal monsters, that means we can be really good. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So for us, it's so important to turn the light on and to maintain the light because if we're good at everything we do, then we're good at being carnal monsters. We're good at being egoic maniacs, and we don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. That wasn't Jesus Christ. So we don't want to do that. Okay. So this is that incredible story. This is this sky clock, and it's going to lead us now into sort of the last part of the show tonight, which is basically how this plays out. What does this look like in your life, and just making this play out in your life every single day. What we're going to do first is just see if Cully wants to just share some thoughts because. Yeah, we went through a ton. We went through a ton of very, very important things. And like with so many of our videos, it's going to be important for you to watch and rewatch that again. But just while maybe Colleen's formulating sort of something that she wants to run with, she had a lot of incredible things she was talking about today in preparation for the show, is I want to stress once again the cross, because the cross, these 4 of the 12, okay, so there are, the so-called 12 months, and that there would be 4 seasons, and then there are 3 months within each of the 4 seasons. So you see, this is the clock of all things. So this is our weather, and this is how the year plays itself out, and it's everything. Everything is built into this. As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so with the soul, the Hermetic principle. So this is the fourfold nature of man. And it is a cross. And this cross, what they're talking about is this. This is what they're talking about. This is that most important part of our nature. And these are the most important, 4 most important destinations upon the 12 plus the 1, which is the sun, to make 13, are Cancer and Capricorn on the vertical, and upon the horizontal is Libra and Aries. Now remember, let me stress this again. The horizontal is level. Level means truth. So the truth of who we are, this is when we were born. And it takes a 9-month gestation period to come out of the womb into life with the father, the mother, and you are the child. So that's why, see again, Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without. That's why it has to be 9 months for us. It isn't for other species, but it is for us because we are the pinnacle of God's creation. It has to be 9. And
each one of these beautiful 30-degree sections is an angle of light. Right?
Exactly. And so that means every one of these is a frequency. So Colleen said the key word, which is 30. Because there are 30 degrees of separation between each of these axes. 12 times 30 equals 360 degrees. Add it up. Do the gematria of 360 degrees. What does it add up to? 9. Come on. It's overwhelming. Slam dunk. It's over. The game's over. You know it. It's all about God. And it's all about being born of God and then coming back home to God as the prodigal son or daughter. So 360 degrees. Now, what Colleen said is absolutely the truth. Every single one of these is an angle of light. And in your existence, in this form, which is the awakening, you're not fully awakened, neither are we. We're not fully awakened yet, because there's 3 journeys that we have to go on. But in this awakening form, our goal is to achieve 360. Eventually it will be 720, and then ultimately it will be 1260. Okay, 9, 9, 9, which is 27, and the inverse of 27 is 72, 3 days and 3 nights. So it's all about 9. And so every one of these angles is an angle of sunlight. So then that means that in every angle of sunlight is the truth,
Which all the other luminaries in the sky also have an energy, and it impacts each other, and it impacts with the sun's light and the moon. It's just, that's an amazing formula. Like Charlie was saying, that when we're birthed, at that moment, when we come out of the womb, that energy is imprinted upon us. That is our number. That is our frequency. That's who we are. And so in knowing thyself throughout this journey, which is so important, and we're just learning as we go as well, who we are in interacting in every moment. But it's amazing to have this this gnosis handed down from the ancients as well. And we're blessed to learn more about ourselves and then each other. It's amazing. It's amazing to learn about that frequency. And so knowing the sky clock and interpreting it really aids us in knowing thyself. And then we have this incredible connection to God.
A full connection. If you want the full connection to God, then you have to have Panavision, which is 360 degrees. Oh, the pole, surround sound, right? That's what they always say is the pinnacle of sound and vision. And that's because they're making fun of our ignorance.
Now, a lot of people,
and it's about the 9.
A lot of people, that just brings up the point. A lot of people facilitate this incredible journey with plant medicines, and it can enlighten you, but ultimately we want to do that without any other aid, and we want to just have that pure connection with God, unencumbered by anything else. It's just that pure connection.
Thank you. And so let me bring you down. The mean attacking Charlie. Let that Charlie come up just for a sec again. But it's the truth. There are people. There are ancient people that call themselves gurus or shamanic practitioners. That's mostly what they use. And essentially what their job is that they're constantly, so once a month or once every, or 6 weeks or 3 months or something, is that they're putting on these shamanic, or what they call tribal ceremonies. And what
facilitating
what that's right. And what they're doing is they're using, typically it can be many things, peyote, but they're typically using psilocybin mushrooms. But and of course it's all,
there's lots of different plant medicines that
for sure. Ayahuasca, clearly,
I've never heard of.
Yeah, and that's right. And ayahuasca is another big one that
Powerful,
everyone has heard of, because it's very powerful.
Mother my ayahuasca.
And the bottom line is that it's just not the right way. If you as a shamanic practitioner are doing this and not taking these substances, but guiding people through this experience, and this is their first or second experience, then it is a wonderful thing that you're doing. So let me make that very, very clear, because these are God interventions. These are miracles that are naturally created, and they're put in nature for you to help you kickstart this journey. And what they always do is they show you the potential of what you can be, because they show you the limitlessness of creation. That's what everybody says. They often, that's why they equate it to the mother. I saw the mother. The mother spoke to me. She said that we're all one, and she showed that it was eternal, and she showed that she was everything. And then everybody, gets it, it's about the mother. It's the mother guiding you to the father, okay? And it's very beautiful.
And that's why they call it chasing the dragon too, right?
I'm just going to get into that. So if these people, however, they're calling themselves gurus or shamans, and they are doing the substance with you, and this is their job, and so they've taken mushrooms 700 times, run. Turn and run, because that's not an enlightened person. Because for someone that has done the work and has made the connection to God by doing it sans drugs, you don't want to do it any other way, because when you're on these substances, you're not you. You are a variation of you, and you're not in control of you. You are simply receiving something that is very necessary and is very, very important, but it is not you, because you couldn't be there and to go on that ride. And that's why you have a hard time remembering it. That's why it kind of seems foggy, because it's not really you, because you are not ready for this ride. So
the frequency is not lining up with you at that point. You've jumped ahead to where you were really ready for it. So that's what we're trying to say. There's nothing wrong with those experiences.
No.
But just don't get so stuck in that experience that you can't learn how to do this for yourself. It's like having somebody tie your shoes for you all the time. And it's like, no, you need to learn to tie your own.
It is. It totally is. That the whole point of this is not that you pop a mushroom every time you want to go have a talk with God, because you're not having a talk with God. It's just opening your mind again, which has already been open, to show you the possibilities. So all you do is, you've got a favorite movie and you keep plopping the quarter into the machine, or the dime into the machine, and around it goes, and you're not going anywhere. But you like the movie, but you don't want to do the work to become the movie, but you like the movie.
What we're saying is there's another phase past that.
That's right.
So get to the next level.
So
that's what we're all trying to get to, the next level.
That's right. And so,
and have that direct connection with God without facilitating, without having the middleman.
And then there were people that will tell us, and they'll say like, yeah, but Charlie, the thing is, I only had an experience with this substance, and there are so many others. And really, to do this justice, I need to try another. No, you don't. No, you don't. Understand that it was divine providence that led you to that experience and to that particular substance, that particular natural substance. There's a reason. And just because it's not peyote doesn't mean that now next you got to go find, that peyote and blue peyote and green peyote and all these things. It's not what it's about. When it becomes about the high instead of doing the work, that's called addiction, which is chasing the dragon. And you can become addicted to anything, including these natural substances.
Cheryl just said shortcuts can short circuit. And that's exactly true.
Exactly. Because you are frying your circuits. And, Colleen and I will just quickly say this. We know of many people that literally do and look and are the part of someone who is fried, because they've done too much of this, and they did it.
In high school, I had some friends.
Yeah, and they did these things because they had so much fear in their life, and they were trying to escape from it, and now they fried their circuits. And just as Cheryl said in the chat, shortcuts create short circuits, and you're an electrical being.
You can't take heaven by force. And that's sometimes, you know, when people are continually doing stuff like that, they are trying to force it.
That's right. So again, let me make this so clear. What does the expression chasing the dragon means? It means that the first time you have one of these experiences, they are perfect. They are magic and they are miracles. The second time you have it, it's less. The third time you have it, it's a little bit more or less. And then the fourth or fifth or sixth time that you do these substances,
taking more and more of the substance to get to where you need to go.
that's right. You're now falling and falling fast. And this is what's called chasing the dragon. And the dragon lives in hell, and he's only leading you to hell.
And it's our ego anyway, and we really don't want to chase him.
That's right. So you look at this and you say, no, it can't be, Charlie, because it's plant medicine. It's cannabis or it's a psilocybin. Doesn't matter, because you've lost the truth. You've lost Jesus Christ within you. Would Jesus be popping mushroom? Come on, it's meditation. Come on, it's the food, it's the breathing, it is yoga, it is sound frequencies. Music is life. Music it can be death as well, but it's healing.
Of us.
It's all inside of us, the path inside of us, and it's for free, and it's on 24/7, and it does not involve popping a foreign substance. So we probably went on a bit too long. Sorry about that, Collywog, but it is very important to state that.
We just don't want you to get stuck.
Yeah.
We don't want you to get stuck.
Yeah. Yep. So what Colleen said leads us to an extremely, and this is kind of the culmination of the presentation, it leads us to an extremely key point. And that is, in this first journey, the Christed journey of raising the chrism oil, which is your Christ consciousness, which is a frequency. Christ consciousness is a frequency of raising Christ consciousness to your temple. Between the two temples, Solomon's temple is here, the third ventricle of your brain. When you have this elixir of life, which is the transmutation of Christ consciousness with what's already there, God consciousness, okay? The 7 and the 9 transmutating, you get 888. And that 888 frequency, which is the risen child, the Christed frequency, 888 hertz is the Christed frequency. And that is right in between 7 and 9. So the miracle of 3 days and 3 nights and resurrecting oneself and rising back to heaven upon earth, which is here, the third ventricle of the brain, which holds the 9, God consciousness, that's 9/11, that's your 11, this is the 9, tearing down your temples to remove God. When you raise the chrism oil, rise. When you raise the chrism oil, this is bringing this frequency, transmutating with the 9, 7 and the 9 to create 888. And that is a frequency. And that is a real thing. And there are lots of videos on YouTube, the YouTube, where you can literally listen to beautiful music, all done on the frequency of 888, which is the Christ frequency. And it's a truthful frequency, and it leads you to become virtuous and leads you to become righteous, because that is the truth, that is the way. And Jesus Christ was the way, the light of all life, because he was the truth. And that's that Christed frequency. So that is the whole purpose of the raising of this chrism oil. Now, Colleen said it's all about the 360 degrees, and she's so right. And there's 12 constellations that we go through, and each is 30 degrees. 12 times 30 is 360 degrees. What's any circle? 360 degrees. Why is the earth level? Because that's what we are, born free to rise, born free to rise. I don't know why. It doesn't matter why the earth is. Who cares if it's round or flat? Because flat is level, and level is the truth, and you are level. Libra, born free to rise. That's on the level. See, 3, 6, 9 creates 3, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3. This is the ultimate 3, 6, 9 is the father, mother, child, 1, 2, 3, it's easy as, and this is the 3, the 6, and the 9. And that's why Tesla says, if you understand 3, 6, and 9, then you understand the secrets of this universe. The free child going on the journey to rise to God, to become home with the family.
And that's taming the capricious goat.
That's right. Father, mother, child. That's what he was talking about. Man of God, Nicholas Tesla. That's why he's not anywhere. And Einstein was asked, what is it like to be the smartest man in the world? And Einstein said, I don't know. Ask Nikola Tesla.
And in our future, I predict that we will have so much more gnosis coming from Mr. Tesla. So much is going to be unveiled to us, and it's going to be an amazing journey for all of us to learn the truth about that man and what he discovered for us. And
through God.
Yeah.
Through God.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And remember what the Q team and the Q posts have made so clear to us. We couldn't have done this without Tesla. Never would have been able to do this without Tesla. He gave them not just the weaponry through magneticism and magnetic technology, but the wisdom and understanding that this is God's plan and that this is trusting in God hope. That's what they're also talking about with Nikola Tesla as well. So this is very, very important. This is very, very key about this 360 degrees. Okay, now Colleen also said that every single angle of the 360, so there are 360 angles. Every angle is 1, which makes perfect sense because God is 1. So God is every angle. To get 2 angles, you have 1 plus 1, which is God plus God equals 2. How do you get 3? God plus God plus God equals C. So 360 angles of light. And by the way, an angle of light is an angel. So there are such things as angels, but they're angles of light. And you suppress all of the help that Michael and Raphael and everybody wants to give you. Everybody wants to help you with wisdom and strength. Isn't that so cool? The light is centering right in the center here. I love that. It's really, wow, thank you, God. So every single angle is another angel, and there are 360. How many angels are there? 360. 360 angels on the 12-hour clock or the 12 clock, and it makes perfect sense. And so there are 12 houses, and each house is a collection of 30 angels. So how many angels live in every single house?
That's a riddle.
30. 30. Because 12 times 30 is 360. So these houses, and that's what the constellations are, houses are a collection of frequencies. So everything from 1, everything from 1 to 12 is God. Wow. That's what he created is 1 through 12, A through Z. It's like, wow. It all makes so much sense. It's all so simple. And then each house is 13 through 24 and 25 through 39. And then it just goes around and you complete the 360. Now, this is a key point because Tesla said everything is energy, therefore frequencies and vibrations. Remember what we taught you about the Capricorn. If you don't take of the pineal gland, go inside yourself in the winter solstice for 3 days and 3 nights and take only of the honey from the pineal gland, which is Iowa corn, and say no to capriciousness, then if you don't do this, you don't rise out of here. So here's the problem. So remember what we said, we're going to make this so simple for you and make this so easy for you to help and give you a reason why to do this, why to take this so seriously. This is everything. We're not taking this seriously at all. We take sports seriously and what somebody's batting average is, but you don't take your life seriously. You don't take any of this seriously. And this is everything. If you don't do this work upon the winter solstice, which is ongoing, right? You just can't do this for 3 days. It's like the chrism oil. Your body has to be in an alkaline state or the chrism oil will die in the first 20 minutes of being released within toxic waters, it'll just die and it will not rise. So you have to be in an alkaline state. So it's not about, you can't do this cheat with 3 days and I'm going to be really good for 3 days. It doesn't work that way. So when the sky clock continues, because it can't stop, it never stops, something, borrowed, something blue, something new is creation, which is the resurrected man, Jesus Christ. And that's why Jesus is always associated with new, like the New Testament, because Jesus is in perfect alignment with God's creation. So he's constantly moving because there's no stopping, no slowing down the truth. It has to keep moving. So you have to keep moving. But if you don't do this work, and if you're going to continue to be a liar, this is where you stay. And if you look at this, see the serpent, if you look at this through the Kundalini rising or not rising, this is the root or Muladhara chakra. 1, 2, 3, 4, the heart chakra, 5, the throat chakra, 6, the third eye chakra to illuminate the crown. See the 6 crossing points. This is the Kundalini rising, and these are your chakras, your circles, energies of light within you. And if you only exist here in the root Muladhara chakra, where is it in your body? It's where Uranus is, and it's where your waste goes. You don't live off of waste. You do not live off of waste. And it's also just below where your reproductive organs are. And if you ask people who are trapped in their root Muladhara chakra about life, they'll say it stinks. Why? Because they live in the shithouse. That's where their energy is in the shithouse. And you bet it stinks. And what's the world like? It's completely fucked. Yeah, because it's a lower expression of the sexual organs, of the sexual function, not a higher version, a lower version. And so stinks and it's fucked. And people are full of shit. Capriciousness, capri, and you're stuck. So
That's
here,
not to say that Capricorn people are any of those things.
No. It's just where your snapshot was. It's just your snap. But if you don't do any work, then that is where you are. And it just saved you the aggravation of us having to fall the whole distance.
There are dark and light aspects to each.
That's right. Everything is a duality in this creation. It is. That's what God created. Out of the singularity with the Father came the duality of the Mother. And everything here is a duality. So with Capricorn, and being of the Capricorn sign has this. This is the higher aspect of Capricorn.
Got gold in it.
That's right. This the sea, the child of gold. And what we teach you in the book that's coming out, the letter N. A lot of people say N is for ending. No, the only way to make a small n is to first create what? Can you see that okay? Not sure why this fell. I think because I rubbed it against the other. So what I'm just trying to show you is a small r. And so the small r is rising. And you just can't sustain it. And so you're rising and falling. And so the N is for trier. The N is not ending unless you give up. And if you give up, it is an ending. But it's all about the R, because you can't make a small n without first making the R. If you could sustain this through magnetism, then you'd live forever. You need the right light, which is God light, which is photonic light. God is photon, God is light. If you had the right light, then you would have magnetic levitation and you would never fall. And that would be the rising. See how it goes up and to the right to God? That's what the R is showing you. This is showing you the pineal gland. This right here is taking you to the pineal gland. That's what the R shows. So the end is a trier. God loves a trier. So the end is beautiful, not bad. It's only an ending if you quit. Never quit. God doesn't like a quitter or a cheater. Try and try again, my lambs. Rise and become the lion. So that's what we're talking about. Now, as the rest of this beautiful cycle continues and moves to Aries and Taurus and Gemini, and then June 22nd, 6:22, Matthew 6:22, if thine eye be single, thy whole body is filled with light. June 22nd, Cancer, it doesn't matter because you chose to stay here by not doing the work at Christmas. And so you're still there. Now, this is what we want to share with you because everything is energy, therefore frequencies and vibrations. This is your reality. So as the year plays itself out, this is your vision. And it stinks. Your vision stinks. You've chosen the worst place. So, people who catch the early worm, the dew worm, which is activating the pineal gland, Robin, Batman and Robin, and the Robin song, which is singing to open your pineal gland. This is all about doing the work, okay? So if you don't do the work and you come late, then you don't get the best position to set up your tripod, mother, father, child, tripod, and take glorious pictures from upon high. You want to be on the top of the mount with that perspective looking down. But you always show up late. And you always get the shittiest locations, shitty, Route Muladera, and you're shooting your pictures from here. And this is what your life looked like. And yet, if you took the exact same set of circumstances, but your camera was up here, what would your life look like? Upside down. Completely different because you're upon high. And now you're seeing everything with perspective and you're going, oh, wow. I had that accident was to meet her. I was just screaming and yelling. I was so angry. I never even saw, oh my God. Oh, I get it. I totally get it now. I was supposed to meet her and she was so nice. And I just kept screaming because it was my stupid car. I don't even care about my stupid car. And that's because you didn't do the work and you stayed here and your tripod is set in the shitter and you got the worst view of everything. That's how it works. That's how your life works. I cannot make this simpler for you. This is the truth. This is the absolute truth. If you want your perspective to change, if you want your life to change, then you've got to shift your energy. You've got to shift your frequencies. And it's as simple as listening to those songs that I've got 65 now on this YouTube channel, 65 glorious songs singing the praises of God. And all they do is carry you, and they're just carrying you to her. And because those songs are filled with truth. And so many of you are getting it. So you're now out and you're now in Aquarius. And that's going to lead you to Pisces, which is wisdom. And you're going to catch the deeper truths that we're sharing with you in these shows. You're going to get it now. You're going to be able to piece everything together. And that's going to lead you to the precipice. And there is where you've got that choice to fall back down with the worst of yourself and hide from potential pain and potential evil people, or no, you're going to make this leap because you want God more than anything in your life, and you're going to make it. You become the bull, then you become unified within you, left and right hemispheres, the twins becoming one, which is what Cancer is, which is balance, homeostasis, which is alkalinity, right? And that is the heart chakra.
It's a game of snake and ladders. And when you learn that the snakes actually take you up, and so do the ladders, we win.
Then the game is always in working in your favor. But they've got you believing that these snakes are evil and that you go down through the snakes. No, you rise through the snake. Remember, what is the caduceus? It's the ladder and the snake together. And that is the symbol of medicine, which is supposed to be about health. And that is the subtle body with the physical body. That is the Kundalini magnetic Mother Mary rising through the chakras, the subtle body system, and your physical cross within you. And it's so beautiful. So when you choose to do the work, and this is changing your food, you're not killing animals, bing, Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Aquarius. Those are gorgeous chords, by the way. And that is what happens because it's truth. You get the truth and you begin to rise, and that gives you wisdom. Truth gives you wisdom and gives you the hope, the courage to rise, to become a bull for God, a blue bull for God. And then you balance that crazy ego as one in Cancer to receive the Father and the Mother and know thyself. And that's why the Bible says, if thou know thyself, thou is the richest man there is. The treasure of treasures is in knowing thyself, because it's free, and look what you have to go through. So now that takes us back to Egypt, and I've got a few things to share with you about Egypt and the pyramids. First, to the right and front of the Great Pyramid at Giza is the Sphinx. Now, can anyone tell me what's at the front of the Sphinx and what's at the back of the Sphinx? At the front of the Sphinx is the Virgin, Virgo, so the Mother Mary, and at the back clearly is a lion, because you see the rump and the tail, and this is what makes the Sphinx. Okay, so this is totally astrological, right? Of course it is, because it's right next to the pyramid, which is our pineal gland within us, and this is what it's all about, what we have to get to. So what is the Sphinx telling us? It means God's at the back end and the Mother's at the front end. And so since we fell from singularity into duality number 2, how do you make a capital B? How do you make a capital B? See? 2 curves, breast, belly, breast and belly for the Mother. B is 2. 2 is the Mother. B is the Mother. 2 is the Mother. Symbology and numerology, they all equate. And so in this fallen form, to get God, you have to first get her. I've taught you this. I've taught you this from day one. To get him, you have to first get her. And then together we get him. So what that means, what's symbolized in the Sphinx, is that you must start with Virgo. What is she? She is the pure virgin Mother Mary. So what is she? She's the truth. She's care and she's compassion. Come on. There's that Holy Trinity right there. Truth, care, compassion. You can't go wrong. That's what purity is. Truth, care, and compassion.
So can you become a virgin then?
So Nicodemus didn't get this, and these born again Christians don't get this. How do you become born again of the Mother? By clinging back to the Mother and embodying the Mother. If you want to get Jesus Christ, you have to first go back to her. So in Princess Bride and who's the swordsmith? He's so good at the sword. And
In the Princess
the
Bride?
Spaniard, in the Princess Bride, the Spaniard.
Indigo Montoya.
Indigo Montoya. My name is Indigo Montoya. Prepare to die. My name is Indigo Montoya. Stop saying. My name is Indigo Montoya. He says, I was lost. And Fezzik told me to go back to the beginning. Where does it all begin? The physical experience begins in the womb with her. With her, you go back to her. You start at go. Where's go? Virgo.
And
That must be an accident.
IR in Latin is to go.
IR means to go.
And then
Go.
It says go.
And then it's go. So it's really go. And what's the V? It's the vagina, which, what have we taught you, is the second portal, is the physical portal to God. Pineal gland to the metaphysical, and in the physical, it's the vagina, which is the portal, the gate key to God, which raises the Kundalini through the sacred sex. And so V, which is the vagina of the pure Virgin Mother, not a whore, and then IR to go. And that's through the Mother. It all starts with the Mother. And then that's your journey. You're born free. It's your choice. You see, free is free will. So it's your choice. It's your choice to be weighted down by the liars, which are the scorpions, which are the cabal, which are the Canaanites, which are our kryptonite that come out of the ground.
But there's still gold in there.
That absolutely, but you got to search for it. You got to seek, and ye shall find. And how do you find the strength to defeat the evil? Through the keen bow of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius char lies. That's why Charlie freaks. See, everything is astrologically based here. And we've just slowly brought you along, because in the beginning, when we were bringing all the stuff about music and about astrology, it was the devil. So many of you that are here now, 3 years ago, that all rock and roll is evil. It's just the devil. There's no God in any of that. And then astrology is purely the devil. No, it's pure God. It's pure God's teachings, pure Christianity. It is just perfect. So with the keen bow, which is truth, you where your aim is always true, you never miss, you hit the heart of the target, which is to burn the lies of Scorpio, and that puts you free once again for another choice. Now, see, 3, 6, you have another choice. These are the quarters of the cross, the quarters of the cross, as they're so important, because now we get a choice again. We're at another choice at the corner of the cross, one of the 4 corners. And at the Capricorn, it's the goat. We love goats. We did that analogy with you, or the sheep that trusts in God completely. Let God do the thinking. Take no thought for your life. The sheep to become the lamb, the ram rising to become a lion in heaven with God. So this is the choice you have to make. And if you make the right choice, you get Joanna, which is Hosanna in Hebrew. And my God, you just go through all of this. Iana in Egypt, and Enki in Babylon, and of course in Persia it was Ea, Earth, Ea. E is pronounced A is pronounced A. So Ea is Ea, and that is in all these other cultures, that is the goddess of the sacred feminine.
Right. And so don't let them take away the sacred feminine in the Holy Trinity, which is Father, Mother, Child, which is, what do they say? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that's right. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Mother Mary is the Holy Spirit that holds these things together.
Let's put her back in there.
And never ever forget that families are matriarchal. They're not patriarchal. If you have a patriarchal family, I guarantee you your family suffers in pain, because that's out of balance, and that's going to be the ego of the father. Families are brought together by the middle way. See what's in the middle of the father and the child? Virgo, Mother Mary. She's what holds everything together. She's what created Jesus, and she's what put laminin in all of us, which is Jesus, which is little crosses. And again, those who drink the blood of children have that double concentration of iron, and they basically leak like sieves. So they're bleeding to death. That's why all these vampires are always so pale of skin, is because they're essentially bleeding out everything within them. And that's because they have no Christ within them. Laminin, the crosses that hold all of the fluids inside of us together, which is a symbology of Jesus Christ. And it's hilarious how none of these churches teach this stuff, and it should be like day one, proving that Church of the Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ, or and Jesus, we love Jesus. Then be teaching laminin. Teach what laminin is. The cross of Christ, which is the glue that holds us together, and that comes through the Mother Mary, 2 in between 1 and 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3. She's the glue, and she created Jesus Christ. And it all starts. So that's what the Sphinx is showing you and telling you, that to get him, you have to go on this journey. So now you see this. What is this one story? It's to go from Virgo to become Cancer in perfect balance, to get he who is in perfect balance. The Bible of dielectricity. Dielectricity is God, because that is the perfect balance. between magnetism and electricity, which means right brain, left brain, which means blue shift, red shift, which means right, left, which means above and below. It's the healing of all dualities back into a singularity. And now it's better because not only do we have the singularity with God, it's a family now. And this is the sacredity of the 1, 2, 3 baby. ABC, 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi, baby, you and me. Sacredity, because the family becomes the one. So do you see?
Family is everything.
Family is everything, but the right family, not the wrong capricious family that you were born into with sisters and brothers that you just look at and you go, whoa, how did I get into this family?
Don't follow the fallen ones.
God is the God of the living, not of the dead. Go forth, my child, and get out of that home as fast as you can and find your family along the way. Jesus found his family. 12 plus 1, the diamond, is 13. The cabal lies to us about everything. But there's one thing they tell the truth, and that is 13 is a bad luck number. So they lie about everything, but not the number 13, right? No, 13 is their lucky number, and Adolf Hitler knew it. And let me state this again for you. How confident am I in the teachings that we share with you? I'm all in with everything that we've ever shared with you, and I'm all in with Adolf Hitler. So no matter what is coming down the road, just you heard it here first. Charlie Freak is a massive fan and admirer of Adolf Hitler and Adolf Hitler's Germany and the German people. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. And what they did was a miracle. And you can't have miracles with these capricious devils. You cannot. And so everything about World War II is a lie. Everything about World War II is upside down. So let me state that again. I love what Adolf Hitler stood for, what the German people are. They are not evil. They have not committed. There's good and bad in every single bunch, but they are a beautiful, brilliant creation. And I'm so excited to see that nation resurrected again, because the first thing that nation will do is invite the rest of the world to share in the magic that they're creating there. And that's what we should all be doing. So, yep, guaranteed Adolf Hitler, good guy. German people, good. Yep, absolutely guaranteed. And that's what he taught. He taught about Jesus Christ. So you want your life to change, then you have to raise Christ within you. And that's the journey from Virgo to Leo. This is the one story. This is the truth. And as you go on this journey and you make these choices and you rise, your frequency changes, your energy gets higher, and every time it gets higher, you get more angles of light. And that's what Colleen's trying to say to you and
Degrees,
showing you.
right?
Is degrees. And so you're constantly graduating from university every single day, every single week, every single month. You're graduating from university with a new degree because you've got more light within you. See? And then when your body is filled with 360 degrees of light, how much matter is in you?
Then you really are the universe.
And you're the unicorn. Not the Capricorn, but the unicorn. There were snakes and snakes and goats and I don't know what else there were. And then there was the
Irish Rovers.
unicorn.
Yeah, the Irish Rovers. Who remembers the Irish Rovers?
But I just want the
Cats and
unicorn.
rats and elephants.
Cats and rats and elephants and sure to be more. But I only want me bloody unicorn. Give it back to me, you wee beasties. I want me unicorn.
Even they were talking about the
Absolutely.
The
One
pineal
story,
gland.
pineal gland. Absolutely. And that is
Irish Rovers.
not the capricious corn, the unicorn. And you achieve that through Cancer, and that's that journey. So once you achieve Cancer, you go to God. God is the unicorn. Is this heaven? It's Iowa, because it's honeycorn, and that's the pineal gland activated, and it's so beautiful. And so this is what we're just showing you. And every single day, your life will get better. You will see more. You will continue to just rise all on your own, because the inertia of what you're creating by putting more light. So it's all about angles of light as you do this journey, starting from Virgo to know thyself and going around. Every time you take another step through virtue, virtue, go with virtue, my child. Go with pureness of the mother,
Which is no lies.
which is no lies,
Solely truth.
with solely truth. Go forth. Then you're the Christed child who is born free. And nobody, what Jesus says in the Bible, through 3 of the books that go into greater detail about the crucifixion of Jesus, is the apostles are just so, they have such a pain body by what Jesus is saying is what's going to happen to him and what's coming. And Jesus says it has to happen. It has to happen, or else the Son of Man cannot be exalted at the right hand side of the Father.
So are you
this
saying
must happen.
nothing can stop what is coming?
Nothing can stop what is coming, because it's this plan. This is the plan.
God's plan.
When
It's
people
God's
tell
plan.
you what's the Q plan, what's Q? Truth. There is some deception along the way, because it's necessary, because we live in a diseased world. So this is that battle, Virgo to Scorpio, and we're still here. And it's when they feel comfortable that the majority are ready to hear the truth, then guess what? JFK Jr. will come back, and he will help in this release of truth. This is where Michael Jackson will come back. This is where Prince will come back. This is where Neil Peart from Rush will come back. This is where John Candy will come back. This is where
Hope so. We hope so. We hope so.
love John. This is where Princess Diana will come back. This is where Elvis Presley will come back. Maybe Marilyn Monroe. I mean, it's just going to go on and on and on and
Don't
on and
forget
on.
about Carolyn. Everybody says JFK,
Yeah.
but what about Carolyn?
That's right. Absolutely.
The wind beneath his wings.
The wind beneath his wings. That's right. Well, Carolyn is fire. She's such strength. She had, why would John Jr. Choose Carolyn? Or why would Carolyn choose John Jr.? Because John Jr. had enough of strength within him for her, because she has so much strength. And John looked at Carolyn and said, oh my God, she has to be the one, because she's got the strength to go through what I know, what we have to go through. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Wow. And Carolyn has that strength. All you ever have to do is look at a picture of Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and all you see in her eyes, besides beauty and besides love, is you see strength. She is fire. She is fire. And John Jr. knew that he hit the jackpot with gold when he found Carolyn. That's why John Jr. and Carolyn. That's why.
People are asking before we leave if we can just give a few words on how harsh it's getting.
It is because in Australia and Canada, because these are very, very fallen places. And so you just have to know that the threats will never fully come to pass. But people are going to be allowed to be bullied into doing something that they know they shouldn't have done. It's testing your resolve. This, it's about the leap of faith. And you have to simply say, with the money situation and with the jab and your health and everything, you just trust in God. You don't
We're
need
all
it.
going to be taken to the precipice.
Yeah.
This is our hero's journey, and we're all going to be taken to the precipice. So, so put your armor of God on and your big boy panties, and we're going there. We absolutely have to go there, and we are going to rise
And go with her.
We're all going to rise. Some may fall, but some of us will help those that can't make it very far, but there are going to be those who maybe fall too far and we can't help them. That's a sad reality, but
Remember, you are the gem in I. How can any police officer hurt you? When the incredible Atlanta Rhythm Section song, "It's All in Your Mind," if they lock you in a prison and throw away the key, there's a mighty, mighty power that will come and set you free, because it's all in your mind. Fear not, my children. Fear not. Colleen and I are in the same boat as with everybody else. And believe me, we're just two kids from Canada. We had no special circumstances, and we did not have a ton of money. We just liquidated everything. We paid off all of our debt. We came to Mexico because we had the Pisces to know that we didn't want to be in Canada when the shit hit the fan. And we knew the storm was coming, and it was better to be in the wilderness of Mexico amongst all of these animals, giving them life, than it was to be in a shitstorm Canada, because the people are so fallen and are so easily tricked. So Canada is suffering, Australia is suffering, New Zealand is suffering. Great Britain, again, they threaten, but then it kind of teeters because people are pushing back in Great Britain. They are threatening constantly, and every time they threaten or push back, then these threats fall back. And that's why there's bing, 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 ping pong, bing bong, the pinball wizard going back and forth in Britain, is because you're showing the strength, then you're backing off, and then you're showing the strength, and then you're backing off. And if you just constantly showed the strength, then all of this stuff would stop. It's only happening in places where people are too terrified to stand up for themselves. So again, we're going to start putting the jab in schools. It's mandatory. Or in the military. If you want to stay in the military, you have to get the jab. It's like, I'm out of here. I'm not, because this is a line in the sand that can't be crossed. If you take the jab, you're powerfully saying you don't believe in God. It's the truth. It's the truth. If you take the jab, you don't believe in God. That's the problem of this world. There is no such thing as Satan. Only people who don't believe in God. That's what Satan is this emptiness in the darkness where there is no light because there's no God. And all you ever had to do was cast thy net to the right, raise your frequencies, get the angels within you, these angles of light, and see more. You will see more. And when you're filled with light, where's your pain body? It's gone, because pain is attached to matter. That's where everything matters. When you fill with light, it's like, I don't really care. Well, they stole that from you. You know what? I don't really even care. I don't really care. Maybe they needed it more than me. I just don't care. And when you don't have a care in the world, exalted. Mount Meru.
that's when the magic happens.
When the magic happens. It's when you think you have problems. It's when you think you have trouble. Down, down, down to Goblin Town you go. And that is eating the Capricorn, not the unicorn. It's so simple. It's so simple. So we've taught you now the simplicity of astrology, and it's just the one story. It's not difficult to understand. It's easy to understand. It's all about 1, 2, 3, which is the family. Therefore, it's all about 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3, 6, and 9, because this is the sky clock. 3, born free, to the journey to go within for 3 days and 3 nights. Jesus Christ, the Christed one.
And remember, the Q team told all of us that there was going to be events that would make us all question our faith and question, the plan, and doubt ourselves and doubt any of this is true. But this is where we have to hold the line. This is where we dig deeper, because the events will probably play themselves out in the next few weeks, maybe the next month or two. But it will be, I believe, before the end of the year. And we're all going to be put to the test. And this is where we rise.
And rightly so. Let me just say that, rightly so, that we should be put to the test. And for some of us, this is going to be such an easy test to pass. And for some of you, you're going to need to cheat. And there's no cheating. There's no cheating God. God knows. So
You mean you'll be tempted to cheat?
tempted to cheat. And for a lot of people, they will be trying to cheat. And you can't cheat God. So
And ultimately you're cheating yourself. So
of course.
this is our moment. This is our moment to rise. This is our moment to shine.
So Cheryl just said to complete all of this, Cheryl is saying that jab is the hard line in the sand, and it is, and that's why the likes of Silence Do Good, whom we love, Santa Surfing, who we love, and Ghost Desert, whom we love,
and so many more patriots,
and so many more, yeah.
Mel Gibson
now, yeah, Mel, wow. Wild Birds and what's that channel?
High D and Wild.
High D and Wild Birds on Telegram and whatnot. Fantastic, just absolutely fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. And that's why they're not backing off this jab thing. Michael Jackson, they're not backing off because it is a hard line in the sand. It absolutely is. And
it may be the red pill that really puts people over the edge.
And this will not kickstart, this will not move forward until such time that a certain number, whatever that is, 144,000, whatever it is, a certain number is necessary of people to stand up and say, this is no, absolutely not. And you don't need it because you have God's immune system. God versus Satan.
Well, it makes no sense really what they're doing. The fact that they're rolling out a vaccine, everyone who's been vaccinated still has to wear a mask and are still petrified of getting COVID from the people who haven't been vaccinated. None of this makes any sense. This is lunacy.
Absolutely.
Absolute lunacy. And those of us who have common sense, freak sense, we stand back and we just look at this and go, what are these people thinking? How far down have they fallen that they can't even understand what's going on? What they're doing is lunacy. Wearing a paper mask to try to get rid of a deadly virus. It's like, wow. None of it makes sense. So when people can stand back, take some perspective and take a big breath and go, this isn't right. And those of us who are sharing the truth, hopefully our words are heard. All we can do is plant seeds, but this journey is for all of us. And where we go, when we go all, it really is true. We are all going to go there. We're all going together.
And remember, for some of you, maybe don't know us well enough to know where we go, one is God. So where we go when we go one with God, we go all. And we go to all places now, in the here and the now. So this is what it's all about. It's about saying goodbye to this doubt and this worry and Satanism, and saying hello once again to Father, Mother, Child, the Holy, Hallowed Trinity.
And you know what's going to rise? Kind man.
Yep.
And that's what we are.
Yep.
We all are.
You take the level again, you take the level 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. We are born free to rise, and that is kind man. That is kind man. You go forth through the mother. So the Sphinx, you go forth through the mother, VIRGO, through the portal of the vagina, go. And she is care and compassion. So she is virtue, and that's what you do, and that's truth. So that's what this is all about. The moment that you do this is you starting this journey, taking no thought. You don't have to worry about anything. Taking no thought means that you're not tempted back into hell by worrying. Worrying takes you right back.
Well, it puts you in the state of fear, and then your frequency is low and you've fallen again.
And then Gollum comes back and takes over Smeagol again. No matter how hard Smeagol tries, if he gets into a position of fear, Gollum will come back, and Smeagol will then cling to Gollum again. Yeah. So it's
Are humankind and mankind different?
Yes, yes, again, because we are man and woman, and that is what we are. We're man or woman, that is what we are. And then you describe what we are. So mankind makes sense. That's what we are, because we are kind man. But we're really mankind, because what we are is man. Man and woman is what we are. Man is male and is the masculine of this entire species, and woman is the feminine of the species. Doesn't make man better than woman. We're just two halves of the same whole.
Complementary.
We complement one another. So that's what this is all about. Is it now? Human, that's not
It's
what
a
we are.
shade of man.
The hue is a mask where it's a shade of gray, and it creates obfuscation. So it's the obfuscated man. We're not humans. This expression has been around for 100 years. What else has been around for 100 years? Einstein and the wobbly, globally ball, BAAL, satanic earth. Yep, 100 years. Human. Nope, we're mankind. And it's funny because Colleen does it a lot too. When you read these ancient scriptures, and when you read from ancient cultures, what do they always say? They're always man and woman, man, woman, or mankind. They don't use human. You don't see that in ancient scriptures, human. You only see it recently. So who's been in charge for the last 100 years or so.
Rewriting some of those
Yeah. And
dark spells that we iterate all the time.
with regard to Afghanistan, it's a movie. It's a movie. And this is another big part of the
distraction
movie.
in a movie.
It's a distracting away right now from the audits. Everything is in motion. Remember, that election could have gone down as a landslide victory and big high fives all around,
And
but they didn't. So that means that they have to go back to what was created, because they created a lot of honey, and now they have to go back and harvest the honey created by allowing the election to be hijacked. So don't kid yourself. They're coming back to it. That all happened because it was allowed to happen. The movie, I cannot stress this to you enough. If you don't have the faith, that's okay. It's okay. We will not judge you, and you're welcome into the family anytime. But if in the next few weeks you just say, Charlie, I've had it with you. I'm not seeing this story business. So nope, off we go. It's totally okay. We'll see you on the other side of things, because it's a story. They've won this war. The war is over. You have to see it to believe it. And if they make it fake, you won't believe it. It has to look real. It has to look real. So even some of the very finest people that are on here are wavering a little bit, and that's okay. Just tip of the hat, the junior and Q and the Q team, and tip of the hat to them for doing such a good job.
And Justin brought up a really good point. Can't arrest people that don't commit a crime. Election stuff is all a trap to catch the low-level thugs. It's pulling out all of the swamp creatures at the bottom of the swamp as Trump drains the swamp with the Q team. It absolutely is, and they're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, and remember, January 6th of 2021. Remember that night we got deplatformed, everything gone. And the YouTube channel, but everything was gone. Facebook was gone before that, but that same night, Donald Trump got deplatformed as well, and a lot of very key people got deplatformed in that night. But it's interesting, is that Colleen and I were deplatformed right after Donald Trump. That's a calm. Not to pat us on the back or anything, but it's to show you who you can trust, or who you can follow during these dark times. But remember, January 6th was an end of the 4-year miracle coming out of nowhere. 777. What was the first day in office for President Trump? 777 days since, wow. 777, because Trump was the miracle for those 4 years. Okay. Then he couldn't be around for this shit show. which is this 1 year. And then the answers have to come in 2022 because that's 222, which is the mother, which is the antithesis to the COVID. So you can see the COVID coming to an end, everything coming to an end, and the truth reigning supreme, because this is 2022 is 222. That's the mother, she's truth. So they can't back off of that. So it's all coming. It's a movie. You have to believe in this movie. The characters look and act and sound so real because they're triggering buttons within you, but it's just a movie. It's just a movie. We've already won the war. So get busy preparing for what's coming. And
get excited.
Get excited because it's righteousness. What's coming is God, and it's going to be glorious. Because when you take the illusion of the devil away, and you take the pressure of money away, holy cannoli, things are going to get good and in a hurry for all of us, because that stress is a millstone around your neck, and it will drag you to the bottom of the deepest ocean. So
thank you, Yvonne.
Yeah, once again, thank you to everyone. And we didn't give the address simply because after we did it, everyone was saying they're gonna. We didn't want everyone to do that and have to do that, so I ended up not providing the address. But then sneaky people like Yvonne researched and went through Justin and found the address.
I gave it to her.
And maybe you did. And so Yvonne sent an incredible package. She was just filled with so many incredible things. She's just an angel.
And Tiger Lily.
Yeah, Tiger Lily, just thank you so much, all of you, and the intent and the will and the desire to reach out to us and want to help and stuff, and we love you so much.
We got a deck of cards from someone, and there was no name on the package. I don't know if it got ripped off somewhere in the mail, but so whoever sent Lord of the Rings, and thank you so much. I don't know who.
Thank you. It's beautiful, and yeah. Wow.
So the best is yet to come.
It is.
I keep saying that, but it's true, and I those words just keep rebounding inside of my head every day. The best is yet to come. And
so remember, how can I get happy, or how can I get strong when they're jabbing our kids in Australia? No, they're not. Like if you stand up and say no, they're not. If you're allowing that if people are allowing, then you have to stand back and say that's free will, and you have to allow for free will to play itself out. We cannot suppress free will, or we've achieved nothing. You just have to be the shining light in the world and encourage others to see the light shining within you. So if this is happening to kids, that again, first off, it's not the cabal. It is not the cabal jab. I'm not saying that whatever this vaccine is, that it's the greatest thing in the world. Maybe it is. We don't know. The fact of the matter is, it's a foreign injection. So it doesn't really matter what it is. Your body's not designed to take anything in. Your body creates it all for itself. This is the problem we got ourselves into with food in the first place, and then allowing a few corporations to control all the food, and they coat everything in poison, and then they only package poison, and then they make you go to supermarkets to get your food, and there's nothing in a supermarket that's living. It's all dead. Even the vegetables are fake. They're real. They were growing on a vine 6 months ago in Argentina, but the fact of the matter is, to ripen them, they had to spray perfume on them, and they use a lot of coloration as well to make these fruits and vegetables look like that they're actually good for you. They're not, because they have to be vine ripened. That's where all the wisdom comes from, this divine nine in the vine. And if you suppress that, there's no wisdom, there's no strength, there's no magic in any of these fruits and vegetables. And then they're spraying perfume on the fruits and vegetables to force them to turn color so that they can sell them. Yeah, and then meat, they're injecting dye and sticking it under, sticking it on fiberboard, styrofoam, and then they're putting thick gauged plastic on top of that because they don't want you smelling it, and they inject it because they don't want you seeing it. And
they make it red.
right. And then what have they done a great job doing it with? And I'm just gonna, this is gonna stick in some of you, but it's the truth. If you've ever eaten a sausage, you've probably eaten human. If you've ever eaten ground beef, you've probably eaten human beings, because that was the whole purpose from the beginning. And then they've pushed it. The new American pastime is hamburgers. And why do you think they call it ham?
We're all going to throw up
Yep.
when we discover that.
Because they're forcing the children of Abel to act and live like Canaanites, which is our kryptonite.
So now that we know better, we do better.
That's right. So somebody comes to your door, or somebody says that for your kid to go to school, they have to get the jab.
Don't put them in school.
Don't put them in school. It's a Satan's school.
You can't have your job if you don't get the jab. Don't go to work.
The
It won't be long. It may be a few months,
the
maybe a few weeks.
when you cast your net to the right, that's what you're doing when you put the life of your family on the line, because there's no money and maybe no food on the table. That's when God comes. You see,
And that's when kind man steps in, and we as neighbors, we help each other.
of course, absolutely, of course. And then it just makes you stronger. And that's where real family comes from, because out of the worst circumstances, the brightest lights came to you. And then that's real family. And that's where you find and build. That's where you make friends and you build real family. So this is a gift. Do not see this as any kind of punishment, or I wish it was that. Know that this is a gift. Know that you are in control. Stand up and exercise your authority. The whole point of the Q team and this whole movement is that you are sovereign. This is what maritime admiralty law has done, is taken your sovereignty away. You are sovereign man. Break the word down. S over rain, but that's purple rain. And overstanding, not understanding or even understanding, but overstanding. And that's through the S, which is the Kundalini Mother Magnetism Mary rising. So get her, and then Virgo. And then go with her, which is virtuousness, which is truth, which is care, which is compassion. Be the mother of this world. Be strong for your children. And that could be your neighbors. That could be strong. Stand up. Be like Adolf Hitler. Be like the German people. They were strong for the rest of us. And it was a huge risk for Adolf Hitler to open up that second front against Russia. But he knew what he was doing, because he knew that the vampires out of the south of the United States had taken out the white Russians, the white light in Russia, and had created darkness. And Hitler set about to destroy Satanism off the face of the earth. And he almost did it. One tiny nation with not that big of a population, and they almost did it in pure righteousness. And that's because God and everyone and everything was on their side, except Canadians, except British people, except the French, except the human beings wearing masks, being told lies, and we ganged up on the most beautiful nation with the most fantastic enlightened leader, and we ganged up. And you can just imagine Henry Ford must have just been absolutely in tears and shaking. Nikola Tesla, the same thing, over what they had convinced the world about World War II. So be strong, arise again. Arise again, my lambs, and become the lions of God. And the only way you can become a lamb is by first being a sheep. So taking of the honey corn, not the capricious corn. Okay. So we love you. We hope this helps. I know this helps. We know this was a really great show, and this is really powerful. And it's our honor and privilege to be able to share it with you. And we love you. And Colleen is regaining her energy, and she wants to do tons and tons of shows. We have so many incredible ideas, the things to do. So you'll see more of us. We'll do more. The book is coming along so well. everything is rolling, moving along, and we love you. If you're suffering in any way, again, please reach out to us, even if it has to be through Justin. Remember the live Q&A shows on Friday. We're here to help. We're here to serve mankind. And that is a child of Abel, not a kryptonite, Canaanite. So we stand for God, we stand for what is right, and we stand for you. So if you need our help, we'll do our best. We're overwhelmed with the work here, but that's okay too. So we love you. We appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, Justin, Team Honey, Eugene, for being in the chat room. Thank you to everyone for all of your beautiful comments and love and support and kindness to one another. And we'll see you again soon with another show. We'll see you for sure Friday with the next Q&A. And we love you tons.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thanks for being amazing, and thanks for being strong, and thanks for doing all the wonderful sharing and helping that you are out there. I know this is a tough time, but we will rise. Kind men will rise.
Yeah.
We love you.
We love you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, family.